Gold, power, blood, for centuries, crown jewels have symbolized divine right and absolute authority. Kings believed they ruled by God's will, and their crowns proved it. But what if some of these jewels carried something else? Misfortune, war, betrayal, death. Across continents, rulers who wore certain gems were dethroned, assassinated, or destroyed. Entire empires collapsed beneath glittering crowns. Tonight, we uncover the crown jewels whispered about in fear, the ones history calls cursed, because sometimes, the price of power is more than a throne. It began in India. A rare blue diamond was stolen from a temple, allegedly ripped from the eye of a sacred statue. Soon after, its journey became soaked in blood. The gem reached King Louis XIV of France. Not long after, France plunged into chaos. His successor, Louis XVI, and Queen Marie Antoinette, both wore the diamond. Both were executed during the French Revolution. Coincidence? The jewel resurfaced again and again, and its owners faced bankruptcy, insanity, and sudden death. Today, the Hope Diamond sits behind glass in Washington, D.C., untouched, unworn, unloved, almost as if the world learned its lesson. Its name means mountain of light, but its history is a mountain of suffering. The Koh-i-Noor diamond originated in India over 700 years ago. It passed through Mughal emperors, Persian conquerors, Afghan warlords. Each ruler who possessed it lost their throne, blinded, imprisoned, assassinated. When the British Empire took India, they seized the diamond and placed it in Queen Victoria's crown. But something strange followed. A long-standing superstition claims, any man who wears the Koh-i-Noor will face ruin. That's why, since Queen Victoria, only queens have worn it. The curse, it seems, prefers kings. It isn't even a ruby. The Black Prince's ruby is actually a massive red spinel, mounted in England's imperial state crown. It was once owned by a Moorish ruler in Spain. He was betrayed and murdered. The gem passed to English royalty. King Henry V wore it into battle at Agincourt. Nearly killed by a blow to the head, the jewel reportedly deflected the strike. But many others weren't so lucky. Richard III, who possessed the stone, died in battle, his body stripped and humiliated. The gem survived, its owners did not. It wasn't even a sapphire, it was an amethyst, looted from India during colonial rule. A British officer brought it home. Soon after, his family suffered financial ruin. The gem passed through multiple hands. Every owner experienced tragedy, suicide, illness, mysterious misfortune. Eventually, one terrified descendant locked it away in 7 boxes, surrounded by warning letters begging future generations never to wear it. Today, it sits in a museum, with a label, and a reputation no one wants to test. Another gem, stolen from a sacred statue, the Orlov Diamond once adorned a Hindu temple idol. After being taken, it traveled across empires before reaching Catherine the Great of Russia. Russia's imperial family later faced one of history's most violent ends. The Romanovs were executed in a basement in 1918. Their jewels survived. They always do. Discovered by a slave in India, he hid it in a wound in his leg to smuggle it out. He was murdered. The diamond made its way to French royalty, worn by Louis XV, and later Napoleon Bonaparte. Soon after Napoleon crowned himself emperor, his empire began its slow collapse, exile, defeat, Waterloo. The diamond outlived them all. What if it's not one jewel, but many? The British Imperial State Crown contains over 2,800 diamonds. It includes the Black Prince's ruby, the Cullinan II diamond, St. Edward sapphire. Some of its stones were taken during conquest, some during war, some during colonization. Empires rise on jewels, but empires also fall beneath them. Is it coincidence that the greatest colonial empire in history eventually fractured, or does history simply repeat, regardless of what shines on a monarch's head? Here's the truth: these jewels weren't cursed by magic, they were cursed by violence. Most were stolen during invasions, taken during war, ripped from sacred places. The curse may not be supernatural, it may be history itself. Blood invites blood, power invites rebellion, and anything taken by force eventually demands a price. Crown jewels glitter beneath museum lights, tourists stare, children press their hands against glass, but behind the sparkle are stories of betrayal, conquest, and collapse. Perhaps the jewels aren't cursed, perhaps power is. And maybe that's why history's most powerful empires eventually fall, because no crown, no matter how bright, can escape time, and sometimes, the weight of a jewel is heavier than a kingdom.